All right. So we're doing a ranking of all the social, or what is it? The streaming platforms. All right. Spotify, Apple Music, all that. I'm not doing the ranking. I mean, I might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the what the outcome here is. So Fantano, I believe his name is, the internet's busiest music nerd. I'll be honest. I think this dude is like a total cringe of a person. A lot of his opinions, I think, are super fucking small minded and ignorant. But yet, if you don't see the same way he does, he thinks you're ignorant. Typical. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's nothing to really give a shit about, is it? All right. So he's gonna do this whole ranking, and I'm just gonna let you know if he's full of shit or not.
Hi and hello everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. Ever since we have been doing a lot of regular coverage on this channel about just how awful Spotify is as a music streaming platform, how terrible the artist payouts are, the AI stuff going on over there, Daniel Ek investing millions of dollars into military tech, all that stuff, and it's the tip of the iceberg. We have been getting countless comments across all of my social media platforms just asking, Anthony, what should I be listening to artists on instead? What other music streaming platforms are available out there? Which ones are the best ones? And even though that is something we have talked about on this channel before, maybe it's kind of time for an update. So
I would okay. I'm already gonna just say I think the best one, which I don't know if it really counts. I guess you could say YouTube. When it comes to me streaming music, YouTube's my favorite. Now, obviously, to me, I think the Spotify ads are a bit too much. That's kind of what that and the whole shuffle thing. I just prefer YouTube. You know what I mean? Um, just and but I'm a vinyl collector. I'm starting on a cassette tape collection. I have a record player for the vinyl. I'm getting a boombox for the cassette tapes. Um, I don't know about CDs. I still collect. Um, I don't know. It's weird because for my music, I still release on CDs. It still sells. I don't care what anybody says because I'm the one. Because I see the cash that gets handed to me when someone wants one of my albums. So yeah. I don't know. I don't. It's hard to say like what I would get to play CDs on. But I have a CD player in my car, so if I want to listen to CDs and stuff like that, but to me, whenever I'm out and about or whatever, I prefer just to listen to music through streaming. And while I'm at home, and there's I have particular albums, particular artists and bands I prefer to listen on a in a specific way. So like old school jazz is definitely vinyl for me. If it came down to something like Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, you know, I feel like cassette tape makes sense for me. But I'm a nostalgia guy, so that's how I'm rocking with all that. But I would definitely say I think out of anything that you stream anything, I just prefer YouTube the most. Um, I think this guy's being a whiny bitch about Spotify. I mean, the whole military AI drone investment's a little weird, but it's his money. If he wants to go and invest that, that's fine. I mean, if he doesn't do it, someone else is. Now, maybe he looks at it as an investment and maybe he just feels like that's the next direction. Maybe he's been coerced. I mean, maybe maybe someone had a gun to his head. Who knows? I mean, I know Spotify did make some political contributions, I think, to the Trump administration, and was like 150 million. And here we are. Maybe they just said, "Hey, well, you owe us something, so you owe us." Well, I don't know. No, that's not right. That's not right. It would be them. It would be the administration that owed Daniel Eck from Spotify something. Who knows? Maybe they got him something. They said, "Hey, yo, what's another favor? Let's invest into this because this is where we're going." Drones and AI. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I don't. I'm just a dude on the internet reacting to shit.
So in this video, I guess I'm going to do a bit of a tier list and go over not only some of the payouts that these platforms are offering artists for streams of their songs, but also some other pros and cons that are worth considering when choosing a music streaming platform.
I'm down on my luck.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
turning a page. I'm falling in love. She's running away. Am I calling a bluff or causing a pain?
I want to say before I dig into this, all these platforms, the function that they serve ultimately, it's all mostly the same, like pretty much all the major and relevant music that you could be listening to or discussing on the internet at any given moment can be found in these places. And they also, in addition to that, have stuff like, playlist features and the like. The basic meat and potatoes expectations that you should have of a music streaming platform are met by all of these brand names. I just want to make it explicit and clear that I'm kind of like rating these platforms and deciding where to tier them based on other factors. So with that being said, let's start with Amazon Music, which when ranked among all of the other music streaming platforms, the big ones out there today, it has one of the highest.
Yeah, I don't know about, and I don't know. I've never listened to music through Amazon Music. To me, Amazon, when I need some studio or music equipment or anything else that would make my life easier, and I know good old Prime will get it to me in a day or two. That's what Amazon's for. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know who listens to music through Amazon. Amazon just wants to run the whole fucking world. Let's just be honest. Let's see. So you got Amazon, you got Tidal. I hear Tidal pays artists a little better. Well, I think that's what he's doing. He's about to break down all the money. Ooh, Amazon pays the best? Fuck yeah. Of course, Spotify pays the worst. Pandora was not a bad deal. It seems like the popularity is not quite there for them anymore. I would actually, like I said, YouTube should be number one for me, I think. Apple's not too bad, but I don't know. I don't really use Apple Music, which is funny because I use Apple products. I could be one weird motherfucker.
Payouts actually, which is cool, is impressive. We like artists making more money. In fact, I personally know some people who use the platform. They seem to swear by it and are pleased with, the experience they get on it generally. But with that being said, none of these companies or corporations exist purely in a vacuum. And when you are giving money to Amazon Music, you are also obviously giving money to Amazon, which is like one of the most predatory and greedy and monopolistic corporations on the planet Earth.
Hey, guess what? I don't give a fuck. Don't work for Amazon. Okay? They've been every company. Oh my god. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I mean, no, I'm defending Amazon. I don't give a shit. Convenience. That's why they've accumulated billions. Aren't they worth like $1 trillion now? Let me look that up. Not that that's very relevant right now, but shit. I'm curious. I don't know. Why do people expect? Okay. Let's see. Where they were. Market cap is 2.56 trillion. I don't know. I'm still going to use it. I don't give a shit what this guy says.
Earth today. So while again, I can praise Amazon Music for giving artists at least more pay on average.
Okay, this is what's funny. He hasn't ranked it yet. He's just saying who pays the best. Well, fuck, if Amazon Music pays more, then maybe I need to start promoting my music more on Amazon Music. I think I've been sleeping on them. Okay, I retract what I said earlier about how I don't see. I don't know, but I want to try to see. But here's the thing: as convenient as Amazon is to its customers with their products or the things they sell and how they deliver them and all that, I'm curious how user friendly it is to stream music or download or however they do it. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, so I might do that.
Than some of these streaming platforms are, there are still some issues to consider. I guess I could throw them in the C row. Okay, next in the
Okay, well, whatever.
list over here, we have Apple Music. Now, this is the platform that I predominantly use, not strictly, but predominantly. And as far as payouts go, I would say Apple lands around the middle, or sort of like, the somewhat upper end of the music streaming platform spectrum. Plus, personally, I do think the curation on there generally is pretty good. I like some of the original shows and interview content they produce as well. Like, there does actually seem to be personal passion going into the sorts of music and albums and artists they feature. Like, I'm not running across tons of playlists that are just packed with AI bullshit, which, if I'm hoping to be spared of anything when I go listen to some music on a music streaming platform, it's that. With that being said, just like Amazon, as a company, Apple obviously also has some pretty major issues. Not only their long criticized business practices of exploitatively attaining the minerals that go into the hardware of the products they create, but also there have been allegations recently of the company and employees of the company, like providing these massive donations to the IDF and illegal settlements over in the West Bank. Insane. Why do I need to worry about whether or not, like, my music streaming platform of choice is contributing to ethnic cleansing and genocide? I do like the functionality of Apple Music as a platform, but just like with Amazon, there are seemingly like 1,000,001 issues to worry about in terms of like shady business practices, and I don't really feel like I could give them much more than a C, even if I do think the overall experience of listening to music on Apple Music is decent to good. Okay, next in the list here, I want to give a shout out to Deezer. I'll make this one quick and say, from what I have seen in the most recent reports, their payouts are not as strong as Amazon or as Apple Music, but if there is at least one business practice recently,
Deezer isn't that's such an odd name.
From Deezer that I can commend, and I will admit I don't have all the information on this topic. In fact, I have been in communication with Deezer recently, and I have not had all of my questions answered. But apparently, they recently rolled out the first site-wide AI music tagging system on a streaming platform, which I feel like going forward, if we are going to have to coexist with AI music on these sites through these interfaces, listeners should at least know and be told what it is they're listening to, so that they know whether or not they are being handed the music of an actual artist who's trying to make an actual career off the actual passion they have for what they do, or if they're merely being handed AI slop. Now, again, I don't know how exactly they go about tagging what is or is not AI on the platform, and I'm sure, whatever means they're using right now are not perfect. But as of right now, Deezer is at least showing a little bit more initiative than some other platforms are when it comes to curtailing this stuff and just generally making listeners more aware. So while, again, I feel like there are some solid and notable and commendable things about Deezer for sure, the payouts could certainly be better. So I think I'm just going to throw this.
So they're all in C. All right. I'm curious to see if we're going to go up or down.
Over in the C tier
Hey,
as well. Okay, next in the list, we have Napster over here. Good old Napster.
Oh, yeah, Napster, the one that started this whole fucking mess in the first place. You gotta love it.
Napster. If you are a music head, a music historian, you most likely know of them as, being one of the predominant illegal music downloading platforms when that was initially becoming a thing back in the day in the early years of the internet. But recently, the platform has actually gone legit in terms of just like being a straight up music streaming platform now, on which you could hear, just pretty much any major artist or album that you could anywhere else. And on various lists and studies that I have read, they have all sort of like agreed that Napster has one of the highest payouts in the industry. Seemingly on paper, from what I'm reading, it's far above.
Napster went from not paying nobody to being one of the best, having one of the best payouts. That's interesting. That's just I don't know that I don't know, that cracks me up.
1 cent per stream. That is sort of like an industry standard that a lot of artists unionizing against platforms like Spotify are seeking at the bare minimum. At the very least, Napster is meeting that again on paper, but also as recently as this month, Napster has been locked into a lawsuit with Sony Music over unpaid royalties. And
Well, never mind.
apparently, back in June, Sound Exchange sued Sonos and Napster for unpaid streaming royalties too. I mean, in digging around, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of testimonials of single independent artists not being paid royalties over, their music being uploaded over there. But like, still, multiple instances of this coming up seem a little sketchy and a little weird, which is why I think, for the sake of maybe erring on the side of caution, I am going to put Napster over in the D row, because
Damn, it got well, at least okay. I figure we had enough in the C section. So finally someone got the D.
while having one of the highest payouts on paper is good, multiple lawsuits over unpaid royalties, not so good.
This is Dahi, and I'm feeling very inspired to make a collection for you guys on Splice to.
Okay, next in the list over here, we have Pandora, which is one of the earlier music streaming services to be out there. And it has sort of like a flow and a functionality to it that maybe younger listeners might not be used to or be all that interested in, because the way Pandora has always worked, it's almost like you kind of have a bunch of stations. And while I understand that the platform has since expanded beyond that with its functionality in recent years, it isn't one of the more popular platforms out there in terms of artists uploading their music there and making sure their music it's got to be on Pandora. If it's going to be on Tidal, it's going to be on Apple, it's got to be on Pandora too. So, there may be limited access to some things that you may be interested in. On top of that, apparently they don't have many of the same lossless audio features that other music streaming platforms provide. And its payout is really just a smidge or two above Spotify itself. While Pandora, seemingly on the surface doesn't seem to be as deeply involved in quite as many awful business practices as Spotify is. I do find it to be a pretty unimpressive platform as far as music streaming goes. I'm going to put it over here in the D row. All right, next.
Yeah, hey, Pandora got the D too.
In the list, we are going to go over Qobuz.
I've never heard of Qobuz, so let's see what this is about.
Which is a service that has been getting a lot of attention and discussion recently, and for a couple of different reasons. One, not only can you stream music there, but you also have the option to actually purchase the music that you are listening to, which even if a lot of users on there are not opting for that, I like that they at least provide the option that if you are really passionate about an artist or a project that you're experiencing there, you can sort of kick in a bit of extra money to actually further support the work that you care about. And even if you are to just streaming there and only streaming music there, they do have one of the higher payouts in the industry. There's also editorial stuff there, reviews and the which, I always appreciate a platform supporting that. However, as of right now, it's not one of the most popular music streaming platforms out there. So the library may be a little limited in comparison to other services. And it does have a higher price tag in comparison with an Apple Music or a Spotify. So there is that to take into consideration too. But if it's something you are willing to put money down for, it does seem to offer a bang for that buck, which is why I guess I could throw it over in the B row. That's cool. B's fine. Next,
I'll have to check that out.
Spotify. Do I even need to go over why Spotify is going to very quickly be placed over in, I'm going to say E. They probably are going to place the lowest. I don't foresee myself putting anybody lower than Spotify at this point in the video, but I'm going to put them in E because you know what, with Spotify, there's always room for disappointment. Just when you think they are at their lowest and they're at their worst and they couldn't make the music industry any more terrible than it currently is, they just find some way to just eke out just a little bit of progress on that front. But yeah, what can I say at this point that has not already been said that we have not covered on this channel numerous times over? The crappy payouts, the fact that they set the standard for crappy payouts on the music streaming front, super subpar audio quality, the AI stuff, the military tech stuff, the paying of hundreds of millions of dollars to the likes of Joe Rogan to spread just absolutely stupid mind-numbing bullshit, the CEO payouts, and just everything. Spotify is awful. Spotify is the reason I'm doing this goddamn video. If Spotify wasn't such a massive disappointment and total failure of a company in terms of like actually serving music and music fans and musicians, I wouldn't be making this video in the first place. So there you go. All right, next, let's quickly talk about Tidal, which is also one of the more high-end services in the list today. But like with Qobuz, you do seem to, in terms of like functionality, audio quality, and the like, do get some bang for that buck. I do also use Tidal in addition to Apple Music, and in my experience as well, the editorial stuff and the playlists over there are very thoughtful and quality and good. They do seem to have like a really massive and impressive library as well. Pretty much any record anybody is demanding to talk about or, you know, listen to out there in the wider world of music discourse today can be found on Tidal in most cases too. In addition to all of that, Tidal has had one of the strongest payouts of all of these different industry players, which again is not like the greatest thing that I think you could give an artist for streaming their song, but like it's much better than what a lot of streaming services are offering. But I mean, among all of these other names, I think I can put Tidal over in the B column for at least you know,
I can agree with that.
Having decent functionality, sounding good, and not paying artists garbage, and at least going the extra mile to advocate for artist pay publicly here and there. And in addition to that, not, you know, freaking load their platform with AI trash. The bar is in hell, people. All right. What I have here is certainly not.
Okay, I'm done listening to this guy. Sorry, after a while, he's kind of mind numbing. Yeah. Anyways, man, that's all I got. Do I agree with that ranking? Well, I haven't used all of those platforms and stuff like that. I do hear about Tidal being one of the better paying ones, so um I know like Spotify. Just the thing about it is me as an artist, like I'm not gonna get rid of Spotify. Dude, if I refuse to support a company just because of certain decisions they made that I didn't agree with, then I don't know where. There's small businesses you know, out there that I support, and I'm sure many of them personally have opinions and have decisions that I don't. Now, granted, if you went and like kidnapped a child, that's a little different. Obviously, I'm not supporting that. You know, so you know, I mean, there's reasons, but for the most part, if someone just said they think Pulp Fiction's a bad movie, I'm not gonna like, oh well, I'm not going to support that company. I'm being being stupid when I say that, but I don't know. It's just weird to me because it just seems like we live in a time where people just feel like just because if they don't agree with one thing, then it needs to be like, you know, you need to be publicly shamed and you deserve to go bankrupt and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just, you know, I cannot, to me, I can't be around people who all have the exact same thoughts and perspective as I do because I want to learn and grow. Okay. Now, going off topic a little bit, but just, I don't know. When I'm, so as far as streaming platforms go, yeah, I'm kind of interested in Amazon Music, so I might give that a shot. I like to see kind of how that works. But yeah, man, I don't know. But no, I'm not one of these artists who want to get rid of Spotify because I've had almost 700 to 1,000 monthly listeners. So if I delete myself from that platform, they look at, you know, I feel that's just like shutting doors on. There's people who I would say of all streaming platforms, Spotify seems to be the one people use. Is either Spotify or Apple Music. So I'm just saying. Some of my biggest fans, like, Spotify is the platform they use. So to me, I'm putting their wants and needs ahead of mine. So, but like I said before, as far as me listening to music, if I'm going to stream, YouTube's the one I go with. All right, man, I'm done being a broken record. See you guys later.